G'day Flosstube, Anna aka Moranalis, back to say g'day with another Stitchy update. I hope everybody is doing well in your various parts of the world. It's March 28th before I forget, and I think the world has officially been dumped on its head. Everything here is as well as can be expected. We're basically doing a quiet weekend at home. My kids are no longer going to school. They have a pupil-free week this coming week, and then it always was scheduled to be 2 weeks of school holidays in the term break. So obviously they'll have 2 weeks. After that is anybody's guess. As for myself, I'm still going into work. My husband as well. Who knows how long that'll happen or last. It's just kind of one day at a time at this rate. A lot of people are no longer going to work here at all, but I'm one of the lucky few that gets to wander around town. And it's bizarre, it's a ghost town around here. But I'm still making the trek in 4 days a week. So clearly I didn't make notes today because I totally forgot. But I wanted to just have a bit of a shout out to all you Flosstubers out there that are making content and stuff at this time, so we all have something to watch and enjoy while we are stuck and feeling a bit sorry for ourselves. And you know, it's a great way to take the mind off life. So a big thank you to all the Flosstubers out there who are making content and whatnot to make our lives better. I really appreciate it. As well, I just wanted to say I stumbled upon a new to me Flosstuber who anybody who likes Mira's may quite enjoy watching. She's relatively new, only been around since December last year, I think. Coco's Hamas, I think. I will double check that. I will put it in the link below. Go check her out. I quite enjoy her. Rumor has it she has some Chatelaines coming up, so I'm super looking forward to seeing that because, you know, I'm a sucker for Chatelaines. Yeah, really have enjoyed her last couple of videos, and yeah, thought you guys might as well too. So yes, again, thank you to everybody, and actually thank you to all you who sit and watch my videos and me rambling. I do appreciate it. All right, back to the main scheduled programming. Anyway, let's not talk about that kind of stuff because we don't need more of that stuff. It's too much on the news. Let's talk about the fun stuff, the stitching. So I have had a new start. I've pulled a project out of the deep stash from those of you who've been around for a while will remember I've had like this 20-year break in my stitching because I started when I was a young lass, and basically after my eldest came along I persisted for about a year and then I gave up stitching, and she's gonna be 17 this year, so it's only a 16-year break, not 20 years. Getting ahead of myself. Anyway, I pulled a piece out of deep stash from when that last year, and hoping I can finish that, so I'll show you that, plus a few random things I worked on over the course of the last couple of weeks. Let's just start in no particular order. I have, let me show you what it's going to look like, because you know that's what us Flosstubers do. So I've been working on the Aura of Autumn again. Glare. I've been working on this panel, park bench. I have nearly made it, the second row across, which is, I was quite pleased because I think I started April last year and it took me till December. I just barely squeaked in that first row. So here we are, not even the end of March yet, and I have one not quite full page left to do entirely, and then just a snippet of the second to last page to do. So I'm hoping in April I can finish, you know, that whole second row across. That'd be really quite nice achievement. So this is back in the Q-snap, so you only get a limited view. You can see that's about the page break that I've been working up to this time. And then this page is not quite as wide as the typical page. Most of the last several pages I've been working kind of diagonally. You know, I'll do one block and then I'll do one, you know, that sort of thing. I found as I got towards the better part of halfway, it just became too hard to figure out which block I was supposed to be stitching. So this time I've altered it a bit. I went up and then I came back down and then I'm working up again in that sort of zigzag pattern. And I'm not sticking strictly to 10 by 10 blocks. Like I'll go and I'll use up 3 or 4 threads in that column to give me a skeleton to work off of. And then as I get, you know, 90% completed in an area, I'll go back and fill in those last couple of stitches. It seems to be working better. I'll probably try and continue that technique on this other side. Yeah, this, like, if the world ends tomorrow and there's no more stitching supplies to be had, this project will keep me occupied for the next 20 years. So I think I'll be all right. But I may just start a couple of things just in case. So yeah, looking forward to the end of that 2 pages being finished. And that'll be a nice accomplishment for the first half of the year. So that's that. Next on that pile is, ooh, the needles have even been left in here. Wonder how long they've been. So this is the one I pulled out of the deep storage. And it's nearly complete, hence the reason I should just finish it. It's a dimension stocking. Let's get my new board. So you can see it's very close to complete. There's a little bit in the toe left to do. And in fact, I'm pretty sure these antlers are why I ended up putting it away at the time. I've mucked up something in these antlers somewhere and it was throwing my counting off. So I just got a bit frustrated with it and put it away, and it never came back out again. Both of my kids have had a bit of a stitch on this in the intervening time. But I don't think they ever did more than a little bit in various spots. So, and you can see I started putting the name in. My daughter's name is Amber, so obviously there's a bit more metallic to go in there to make it show up. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, this won't take me very long to finish. I should just knock it out and be done with it. But then, of course, there's the whole assembling it into a stocking thing. I don't know which of the dimension stockings this is. I will endeavor to find a proper name for it off Google and put it down below if anybody's looking for it. It was a pretty easy stitch. I just did it on the Ada that came with the kit. Yeah, I don't know. Haven't got a lot to say about it other than I really should finish it and be done with it. But I feel a bit bad because obviously my eldest daughter, she's got her stocking half finished. But I don't think I'm going to make a stocking for the other two. I don't think they're either of them is the least bit worried about it, but I don't think they'll be making them a stocking. If they were really worried about it, I might. So the other thing I did, I need a higher bench. I've got another chair with a bunch of stuff stashed on it to show you, but I'm sitting on a high bar stool chair, and that one's too low. I'll lean over to get it. So I think the last video that I filmed, I finished that retreat stitch. Something else. Was it the whale that I finished last time? I forget. I'd have to go back and watch the old videos. Anyway, I'd finished several things and I was kind of feeling a bit burnt out, and this whole thing was starting to blow up as well. And I thought, no, I just want a new stitch because I want a new stitch. So I went digging through my stash, and there were several things that I kind of decided what I wanted to do, but needed to buy supplies for. But there was one I decided I could go ahead and start, and I'm going to do the Celtic Summer Lavender and Lace. The color seems really washed out today. I don't know why. I've generally thought it's better in the shade here. Anyway, but those colors, the blue and that teal, or teal and purple, words. I don't know, they just don't scream summer to me. They're springy colors. They're kind of Easter colors, if you ask me. Not summer. So, and I kind of had kind of a hankering to have a go at converting something anyway. So I'm like, well, let's have a dig around. There's an Instagram account called Stitch Palettes, and it's all just, you know, the nice photograph. They pick out 5 colors or so and convert them to DMC. So you get a nice coordinated set of colors. And I kind of thought, well, what sort of palette does say summer? And around here, summer is dinner on the ocean, sunsets over the water, you know, silhouettes of palm trees, that sort of thing. That's what says summer to me here in the tropics anyway. So I dug around on the Stitch palettes for one that reminded me of that sort of idea. And I will have to see if I can actually find the image again to insert, because I've had a computer crash since the last video, so I don't know that I actually have the image on the new computer that I can insert. I might have to go digging. We'll see. I'll try to put it down there. And so I thought I'd use, it was blues and rusty orange colors. The blues for the dark water and the rusty oranges for the sky. So I decided to do the cape in the dark blues and the rusty oranges in the dress. And I kind of debated, oh, well, that didn't leave anything for that kind of dark greens and the silhouettes of the palm trees and whatnot. But I decided to just leave it with the blues and oranges that were in that image. And so that's what we're going with. So for that project, I went and I dyed this fabric. This is a 28 count cashel that I dyed myself. From memory, it was 90% just camel dye. And so the lighter color is like camel on its own, really watered down. And the darker color is mostly camel with a little bit of actually a bright orange in it, believe it or not. And it's funny, the color you're seeing on here is more what I was aiming for. In the camera's picking up more like what I was looking for in real life. But what I've actually got is a fair bit redder. The browns through here are darker and they have a much redder tint to them. I'd love it if I could make something that looked like it was on the camera, more like old parchment. Yeah, you're just not getting the red. So it's definitely got, like, I think it works for this piece, but it's definitely got a red tone to it. But I decided I liked it as a neutral well enough that I kind of like the idea of doing all 4 of the Celtic ladies on the same background. So I dyed 4 pieces of it. So let's see what I've actually done. You know, I'm not sold on this bigger board. I might have to go look for another smaller board. It's just a bit unwieldy. So you can see the blues. This looks really backwards. I'm sure it's upside right, but looking at it in the camera, it's just backwards enough to really throw you. So that's obviously the blue of her cape. And then the red of that inner dress. It's just disconcerting, Matthew. Okay, struggling today, guys. And then that's the sleeve of her arm. So I've got enough of the colors in. Like, obviously there's a fair bit more lighter and darker oranges and blues to go, really. But I think I've got enough of the colors in that I'm pretty comfortable with my color choices. The oranges in particular, down to the kind of burnt. My husband just walked by snickering. I'm in here talking to myself. Into kind of the burnt browns and stuff. Gave me a bit of grief trying to pick which ones I wanted. But I think I've got a reasonably good idea of what I'm going to use now. When I get it all decided, I will post it on that excuse me, that same old blog that I did the conversion for the whale and that retreat stitch, that bee sampler from Heartstring Samplery. Anyway, so that's where that one's at. Obviously there's a fair bit of Krynic to go in. I don't actually have, no, it's treasure braid, sorry. I don't actually have the treasure braid yet, so I've got to wait for that to come in the mail. And with all the chaos, I think that'll be quite a while before that shows up. And somebody's going to make noise. You should see the guest room area. It's an absolute disaster because somebody's making a mess in my she shed. Don't get mouthy. They'll hear you. All right. If he's going to stop making noise, I've been working on the Chatelaine again too. So that way it's up. So this is the Japanese Moss Garden Mandala from Chatelaine. Last you saw it, I was starting to work on the beads in the water, and you can see all of those are done. We've got some more of the funky bicones up there, and acres of delicas. There is a bugle. You can't help it. I don't know how much of that you're hearing, but he's making noise. And now I totally lost what I was thinking. Delicas and bugles, and that was, you know, all the way around there, acres of stitching. So after I finished that, I went and started working on these grasses because I wanted to break from all the beads. So they're just basically long stitched grasses in there. And I went and I did all, so there's 24 of them, but there's 6 on each side. And I went and I did, hold on, let me flip it upside down. I did all of them like that, where it had green up the top. And I was so pleased with myself. I'd done all the water, I'd done all the grasses, and then I went back to go look at what other beads I needed to put in there. And I realized that those grasses were meant to have yellow flowers up the top. And I'd done them all wrong. And now we have more company. Hold on a second. I'm telling you guys, this she shed is not going to be big enough for everybody once everybody's stuck at home for this whole quarantine self-isolation business. Anyway, so I ended up having to rip out, obviously I've got one set left to fix. I've ripped out and fixed 18 so far of those flowers up the top. And this top section I've gone and I've added all the beads along the border and in the flower grasses itself. So that section there is totally complete now, which I'm pretty stinking pleased to be able to say that. All morning basically today I've been ripping out 3 flowers, restitching 3 flowers, and then stitching a thing of beads, just to try and break up the tedium of having to rip out all those stupid flowers. I debated, you know, that's a lot of ripping out, and I was a bit worried about damaging the fabric, and I thought, well, maybe I should just leave it. But it really did need that pop of yellow, so we'll suck it up and I will rip it out, but don't have to be happy about it. So I don't know if we can see. So those ones are yellow already. Those ones are yellow already. And one of these sides I've started the beading, but I haven't finished. And then the bottom's still green. So we'll have to fix that one. But I'm super pleased with how that's coming along. I mean, look at that center. How much bling there is in that thing. Oh, that's so rocks. Oh, I love it. That one's just catching the light there. I could do that all day, guys. Tip for anybody who's not used these funky Swarovski crystal things, particularly there's this vitriol, and I'm assuming some of the other colors of them. They get that funky multicolored sort of sparkle by putting a backing on some of those beads. So like these square beads, the backing is basically on 2 of the 4 sides of that square. So you want to make sure that one of the sides that is down on the fabric is that backing. You know, smart me, put several of them on so that the backing was what was on the top. Fortunately, you just twist them around rather than, you know, unpick them and redo them. But I'm like, hello, you want the sparkly bit on the top. Yeah, so just something to be aware of. The bicones are like that too. Often they've got that backing to help give them a bit of sparkle. And then other ones like the clear beads and in the lotus flower here, that's kind of a really light purple bicone. They don't have that backing, so then it doesn't matter so much which side's up and which side's down. But I'm so pleased with how that's turning out that, yeah, I can't wait to start the next one. So that's about everything that I have worked on in the last, did I say that was a 28 count cashel again? I dyed that one myself as well, just pearl gray grit. So with all the chaos that is life at the moment, obviously our trip to the US in June that was meant to happen to go see my family is not happening. So all my plans for I was going to save up all this great big Stitch from Stash budget, and I was going to blow it at the local stitching store on pretty fabrics. Went up in smoke with those plans. So, you know, I had that big run of finishes, so I was looking through all my kits and thinking, oh, I want to do that, but I need to buy. And so I made a list of all the things that I wanted to buy. Plus we have the world ending, and you know, I might need more supplies just in case. So there was a few things that went out for that. And then somebody in the Chatelaine group posted a picture of their Tahiti Mandala. Now, for those of you who have watched me a while, you realize I have the Tinctorium Mandala almost entirely kitted. Like, I could just get fabric and start on that one. I have the Hawaiian Mandala with my grand plans for how I'm going to alter it. I haven't kitted most of that. I've got a few of the treasure braids and I've got the DMC, but I don't have a lot of the specialty stuff in there. So that one requires a bit more effort. Plus it requires recharging the volcanoes into our local hill, which is still a bit intimidating, but I'm totally going to do that. So I have no business buying any more Chatelaines, but I ordered the Tahiti Mandala because it's so awesome. They're all awesome. It's a tough life. We better be quarantined for years because otherwise I have no hope of getting through all this. Anyway, I think that's it from me, guys. Keep safe. You know, stay home as much as you can. Keep your sanity. Wash your hands. You know, all those things they tell us to do. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Okay? Bye. I'd done all the water, I'd done all the grasses, and then I went back to go look at what other beads I needed to put in there. And I realized that those grasses were meant to have yellow flowers up the top. And I'd done them all wrong. And now we have more company. Hold on a second.